All right, we're going to learn another way to find the slope on a graph. So taking a look here, I have a graph that is only going to utilize quadrant number 1 here. So we're going to be dealing with positive numbers. I've given you 2 points already. 2, 1, and 3, 5 are the 2 coordinate points that I've given you. We are going to use the formula for slope when we have 2 points on a graph as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And basically what they are is x2 and y2 are coordinate points, y1 and x1 are coordinate points. So when I look at this, this is an xy coordinate on here. Okay, so xy. We know that that's a coordinate, and we know this is a coordinate of xy. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to label one of them 1 and one of them 2. It does not matter which one I label as 1s and which one I label as 2. For this specific problem, I'm going to go ahead and label these as 2s. So notice that I labeled them both 2s, and I'm going to label both of these 1. That's the key thing, is to label them both with the same number. So then what I do is I take that coordinate point, so for example, x1, y1, which is 2, 1, and coordinate point x for this one, which is 3, 5, and I'm going to substitute them into this equation. Okay? So notice here that y2, if I find y2 has a value of 5, minus the value of y1 has the value of 1. So m is equal to 5 minus 1 over the value of x2. So 3 is in the place of the x2. 2 is in the place of x1. So now I'll define the slope. I take 5 minus 1, which is 4, over 3 minus 2, which is 1. And so therefore the slope is 4 over 1, or also known as 4. All right, we did a positive slope. Now let's take a look at a negative slope. Again, we're going to use the slope formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we're using that slope formula. First thing I want to do is identify my 2's and my 1's. I'm going to use this point as my 2's just because that's what I'm deciding to use. So this is going to be my x2, y2. This is going to be my x1, y1. Now I've identified my 2's and my 1's. Now I'm going to identify the coordinate points. So this coordinate point would be negative 2, 3. This coordinate point would be 1, 1. Now that I've identified the coordinate points, I'm going to go ahead and put them into my slope formula. So I'm going to find the value of y2. The value of y2 is 3. The value of y1 is 1, so I've got 3 minus 1 there. The value of x2 is negative 2. Minus the value of x1. x1 is 1. So now I go ahead and simplify this. 3 minus 1 is 2. Negative 2 minus 1 is the same as negative 2 plus negative 1. So I'm going to do negative 2 plus negative 1, which is negative 3. I do not write slope with x being a negative. So I'm going to rewrite that and put the negative out front as negative 2 over 3. So my answer is negative 2 over 3. All right, I want you to go ahead and do one on your own. Use the slope formula, again, of y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and I want you to go ahead and find the slope. So at this point, you need to identify x2, y2, identify x1, y1. Now you're going to find the coordinates. So find the coordinates for x2 and y2. Find the coordinates for x1, y1. Now you're going to use the formula. You're going to take y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. and this will give you your slope. So depending on which one you identify in X2 and Y2 depends on how this will be worked, but you should end up with the same solution in the end. On this problem right here, I'm going to identify this as the 2's. This is the 1's. Identify this coordinate as 3, 2. This coordinate is negative 2, 1. So I've done that. Now I'm going to use the formula. Substituting y2. So I'm going to take 2 minus y1 of 1 over 3 minus negative 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 3 minus negative 2 is 5. So your slope is 1/5.